Let's start continuation of training in sports. In that, today's first topic is flexibility. Normally, we can say that flexibility is the range of movements of joints. In other words, flexibility can be defined as the ability to execute movements with a greater range. It is affected by muscle length, joint structure, tendons, ligaments and other factors. An individual who has good flexibility can move his body joints through full range of motion in work and play. He can perform in daily routine work smoothly, effectively and easily. Such individuals seems to be attractive, especially while doing some activity. Flexibility is related to genetic factors as well as physical activity programs. Flexibility is helpful in many ways, such as in preventing injuries, improving posture, reducing low back pain, maintaining healthy joints, improving balance during making movements and in learning various skills easily. For example, backstroke in swimming. These are about flexibility. Next, going to subtopic of flexibility is types of flexibility. There are various types of flexibility. Mainly two types: passive flexibility and active flexibility. First one is passive flexibility. Passive flexibility is the ability to do movements with greater distance with external help is called passive flexibility. The ability to do the movements with greater distance with external help is called passive flexibility. For example, stretching exercises with the help of a partner. Passive flexibility is always more than active flexibility. Anyway, passive flexibility is the foundation for active flexibility. In that, second type is active flexibility. Active flexibility is the ability to do movements for a longer distance without help of or without external help. For example, to do stretching without the help of a partner. Active flexibility can be divided into two parts. They are static flexibility and dynamic flexibility. In that, first one is static flexibility. Static flexibility is usually required by a sports person when he remains in static position. For example, in diving, sitting, lying and starting position in various sports. Whereas dynamic flexibility is needed for doing movements with a greater distance when an individual is in motion. That is the difference. Anyway, both types of flexibilities are essential for a general individual and for a sports person. Flexibility can be achieved by stretching exercises. Before performing any type of stretching exercise, one should do proper jogging or slow running. These are about types of flexibility. Next, how to improve flexibility or what are the methods to improve flexibility. Some of the methods are discussed now. In that, first method is ballistic method. Ballistic method, the movement is performed with a swing in a rhythmic way. The related joint is stretched with a swing. The stretching exercise can be performed rhythmically with a count. And each count, the joint is stretched to maximum limit and then it is again flexed. Anyway, before performing such exercise, the appropriate warm-up is essential because there are maximum chance of overstretching of a joint. Ballistic method So movement is performed with a swing in a rhythmic way. Okay. Second one is static stretching method. Static stretching method involves gradually easing into the stretch position and holding the position. The amount of time a static stretch is held depends on one's purpose. If it is a part of cool down, then the stretch should be held for 10 seconds. If it is to improve the range of flexibility, then hold it for 30 seconds. In static stretching, it is advised to move further into the stretch position as the stretch sensation comes to lower level. Again, static stretching method involves gradually easing into the stretch position and holding the position. And third one is dynamic stretching method. Dynamic stretching consists of controlled leg and arm swings that take you gently to the limit to your range of motion. Where the event requires a dynamic movement, it is appropriate to conduct dynamic stretching exercises. Start with the movement at half speed for a couple of repetitions and then gradually work up to full speed. That is the difference. Dynamic stretching consists of controlled leg and arm swing that take you gently to the limit of your range of motion. And fourth one is very important one. Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation technique. Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation technique. It's a short form PNF. This technique or method is used by advanced sports persons for gaining flexibility. For example, it may be helpful to gymnasts. PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation technique or PNF, involves the use of muscle contraction before the stretch in an attempt to achieve maximum muscle relaxation. With the help of the following procedure of techniques are: first step is you move into the stretch position so that you may feel the stretch sensation. Second step is this exercise before that this stretching exercise doing with the help of a partner. So second step is your partner holds the limb in this stretch position. Third step is you then push against your partner by contracting the antagonist muscles for 6 to 10 seconds and then relax. During the contraction, your partner aims to resist any movement of the limb. And fourth step is your partner then moves the limb further into the stretch until you feel the stretch sensation. Then fifth step is then again go back to number 2, that is your partner holds the limb in this stretch position. Repeat the whole procedure for 3 to 4 times. For gaining the flexibility in the shortest possible time, this method, PNF technique, is the most appropriate method for increasing or developing flexibility. Again, I list out the methods to improve flexibilities are ballistic method, static stretching method, dynamic stretching method, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation technique. Clear? This is all about some methods to improve flexibility. Next, going to some guidelines for developing or improving flexibility. The development of flexibility should be done before puberty. It is hard to develop flexibility after puberty. The flexibility of hip and shoulder joints should be specifically improved before puberty. The flexibility of other joints can be improved during the adolescence and even after that. Second guideline is flexibility is most likely to be reduced if the exercises are not performed to maintain it. So, flexibility or stretching exercise should be continuous. Otherwise, there's a chance of reduced our flexibility. Third one is the exercises for improving flexibility should be performed after a complete warm-up. If proper warm-up is not performed, what will happen? There may be maximum chance of overstretching the muscles. Automatically, there may be injury of the muscles or ligament of joint. Fourth one is exercises for the development of flexibility should be performed when the sports person is fresh. That means under the stage of fatigue, the muscles cannot be stretched to their maximum limit. Fifth one is dynamic flexibility depends on static flexibility. Dynamic flexibility is more beneficial than static flexibility in the field of games and sports. Another guideline or sixth one is exercises for the improvement of dynamic flexibility should be related to sports activity. Seventh one is for effective improvement of flexibility, sufficient number of repetitions should be performed. It is recommended that at least 10 to 15 repetitions of each exercise should be performed. Another important guideline is jerky movements while doing any type of stretching exercise. Jerky movements not allowed because what will happen, exercise maybe happen to injuries or any ligament defect will be happen. So jerky movement should be avoided while doing the exercises for improving flexibility. Ninth one is if the exercises are performed with the help of a partner, the partner should have proper knowledge about the exercise of flexibility. Suppose the partner shouldn't have proper knowledge about particular activity, what will happen? Definitely injury will be happen. Next one is after doing any exercise for improving flexibility, the exercise to relax the antagonistic muscles should also be performed. That also may happen to injure. So each exercise or after doing any type of stretching exercise for improving flexibility, the exercise to relax the antagonist muscles should also be performed. Stretching activities should be done at least 2 days every week. So our flexibility may be keeping for long years. Otherwise it will be affected our flexibility. These are the guidelines for developing or improving flexibility. This is all about flexibility. Next, going to start coordinative abilities. Coordinative abilities is the last topic of this chapter. Coordinative abilities mainly depends on the central nervous system. The coordinative abilities are those abilities of an individual which enable the individuals to do various related activities properly as well as efficiently. Our accuracy, rhythm, flow and constancy depend on our coordinative abilities. It is not easy to define coordinative abilities. Anyway, in the text given one definition of coordinative abilities. Coordinative abilities are abilities that enable an individual to do various related activities properly and efficiently. Mainly, it depends on the central nervous system. Coordinative abilities are very significant in sports and games. These are required for qualitative movements. The beautiful and graceful movements are a product of well-developed technical skills and coordinative abilities. Well, the learning speed of a skill also depends on the level of coordinative abilities. Coordinative abilities are very significant in sports and games. Coordinative abilities are mainly depends on the central nervous system. Okay. Next subtopic is types of characteristics and significance of coordinative abilities. In the text, some of the points are given. Coordinative abilities are directly linked to the technical aspects and skills of sports. For efficient coordinative abilities, the central nervous system and the various senses or sense organs should work in tandem. A sports person's coordinative abilities decide the quality of their performance, and these abilities can only be improved with constant practice and exposure. There are general and specific type of application of coordinative abilities. All types of sports requires balance, but it is especially crucial for events like shooting, archery and gymnastics. Coordinative abilities determine the pace of learning and modification of skills. Engagement in the training of coordinative abilities can additionally be a source of recreation and recovery. Last characteristics. If development of coordinative abilities is initiated from an early stage, then the individual will have an easier time acquiring complex skills in later years. This is all about characteristics and significance of coordinative abilities. Just read the text once or twice. Last topic is kinds of coordinative abilities or types of coordinative abilities. There are various coordinative abilities which are very significant in the field of games and sports. The various types of coordinative abilities are coupling ability or combinatory ability, orientation ability, reaction ability, balance ability, adaptation ability, differentiation ability and rhythm ability. These are the types of coordinative abilities. First one is combinatory or coupling ability. Coupling ability or combinatory ability is the ability to combine the movements of different body parts for performing perfect sports movements. It's a combined movements. This ability is very significant for approximately all sports, but especially in teams events, gymnastics and competitive sports like boxing and wrestling. For example, in boxing, the movements of hands, head, trunk and feet are essential to couple to achieve a certain goal. Second one is orientation ability. It is the ability to determine the position of the body and its parts in time and space in relation to gravity. Moving objects like ball, opponent, partner and playing field, etc. The ability depends on functional capacity of sensory organs like eyes and kinesthetic sense organs, etc. Ability to determine the position of the body and its parts in time and space in relation to gravity, moving objects like ball, opponent, partner and playing field, etc. Third one is reaction ability. Already we have studied from speed. Reaction ability is the ability to react immediately or quickly and effectively to a signal. Generally, there are two types of reaction ability, such as simple reaction ability and complex reaction ability. In that, first one is simple reaction ability. It is the ability to react immediately or quickly in already determined manner to a well-known signal. It's a predicted signal. For example, the reaction of a runner in the start of sprint races is already known to the runner. Whereas complex reaction ability, it is the to react immediately or quickly and accurately to determine or unexpected signals. These signals are unexpected for sports person because he does not know when and how to which signal he has to react, such facing ball in cricket by a batsman and tackling opponents in football or basketball. These are the examples for complex reaction ability. Next is balance ability. Balance ability is the ability to maintain balance during the complete body movements and to regain balance quickly after the balance disturbing movements. It can also be defined as the ability to control the body position either in stationary position or while moving. In stationary position, for example, handstand on parallel bars or horizontal bar. Whereas moving, for example, water skiing and performing on the balancing beam. This type of ability is required in most of the games and sports. To maintain balance ability, whether static or in motion. Next is adaptation ability. Adaptation ability is the ability to adjust or change the movement effectively on the basis of changes in the situation. The change in situation can be expected one or can be sudden or unexpected one. It can be said that it is the ability to solve motor tasks effectively in spite of changed or changing situation. Adaptation ability is ability to adjust or change the movement effectively. Okay. Next one is differentiation ability. This ability is the ability to achieve a high degree of accuracy and economy of separate body movements and movement phases in a motor action. The high level of this ability depends on movement experience and the degree of mastery over motor action. Differentiation ability is the ability to achieve a high degree of accuracy and the economy of separate body movements and movements phases in motor action, in various motor actions. And last one is rhythm ability. Rhythm ability is the ability to observe or the rhythm of a movement and to do movement with the required rhythm. For example, in gymnastics or a figure skating, the sports person has to observe an external rhythm given in the form of music and express it is his movements or her movements. Rhythm ability is also required synchronized swimming. In various sports, rhythm is not given from outside. The sports person uses the rhythm which is already stored in his motor memory. This type of ability is very significant in gymnastics, synchronized swimming, diving and figure skating, etc. Rhythm ability not used in most of the sports and games. Rhythm ability mainly used in synchronized swimming, gymnastics, diving and figure skating, etc. These are the various types of coordinative abilities. Maybe asking one more question. So, go through the text properly. Dear children, training in sports, this chapter is completed. Thank you for all.